In today's Adobe Illustrator tutorial, you will learn how to create interesting 3D shapes using Revolve from 3D Effects. First, you will see how to quickly play with 3D shapes and get incredible unexpected results, and then we'll learn how to add your own patterns or textures to 3D objects to create unique vector illustrations. Also, in the end of this tutorial, I will show you how to edit your artwork in Photoshop to make it look clean and professional. After this tutorial, you'll be able to make 3D compositions fast and easy. You are watching TNT tutorials. Let's move on and create a new document. Select Print, A4, Horizontal Orientation. In Advanced Options, select RGB and click on Create. You can download reference by the link in the video description. Just rename layer to Reference, then click on File, Place, and find path to downloaded reference. I also recommend you to download swatches. After you downloaded them, click on Swatches, select all these colors, delete them, then click here, Add the library, and find path to downloaded swatches. You will see this window. Just click here on this folder and close this window. Now you have needed colors here. First of all, let's create new layer and rename it to background. Bring this layer down, swatches, with stroke selected, click here on None, select Fill, pick this color, M for Rectangle tool, and just draw a rectangle like this. Then lock this layer. First of all, let me show you how Revolve from 3D Effects works. I will pick this color and click here to Swap Fill and Stroke. Let's create glass, for example. P for Pen tool. Let's just draw a shape like this. I will press Ctrl+Shift+A to stop drawing this line. Then, with this line selected, Effect, 3D, Revolve, Preview. As you can see, this is not needed result, and first that you want to change here is to select right edge, like so. Then you can click on More Options, play with lightning sources, like so. You can also change surface to diffuse, no shading, or wireframe. Let me show you them quick. This is diffuse mode, no shading, and wireframe. Let's use plastic shading for now. I recommend you to play with these options. You can also add one more lightning source, or even as many lightning sources as you want. I will use 2 lightning sources for this example. For now, let's click OK. And now what you can do is pick A for Direct Selection tool, pick any points, and move them. You can play with proportions and change them like so. Let's pick this point and round corner here. Let's duplicate this one. After you apply 3D effect, you can change it anytime as you want. Just click here on Properties and click here on Applied Effect. Preview. And you have a lot of combinations here. If you don't know which one to choose, I recommend you to select Front and then just play with angles like so. Then if you want to cancel, just pick Front again. I will leave this result for this one and click OK. Now let's press P for Pen tool again and draw some random shape. Like this. And with this shape selected, Effect, 3D, Revolve. Let's click on Preview. And you might want to leave this result or change to right edge again, like this. So you already have these options with absolutely different results. I will pick right edge, click OK, A for Direct Selection tool, and play with these proportions. You can make sharp corners, for example. and do something like this. Also, you can add more points and change shape even more. You have absolutely unlimited possibilities. Let's click here on Revolve, Preview, and change this one to left edge. If you're creating some random custom shapes, you can always try to switch between left and right edge to see what results can you get. Now let's continue. Let's create apple and add texture to it. I will delete all these objects. P for pen tool. Let's draw a shape like this. A for direct selection tool. I will play with these proportions. Now, as you already know, 3D, Revolve, Preview, Right Edge. Let's switch to diffuse shading. Add one more lightning source. And click OK for now. I will add one more point here. If you will see such unpleasant moments, click on Applied Effect and try to play with perspective. If it not works, try to change rotation. I will select front, for example, and rotate object like so. As you can see, I already don't have that dark parts, but if I will rotate it more, I have them. So now I will try to apply perspective here. And if I will see this wireframe, I simply switch between modes and I can see artwork clear. Perspective helped us, so try to play with it and with rotation. Just take your time, don't panic if something works not as you expected. Play with shape and get needed results. Also, in such cases, you can try to use different way and use some simple shapes. For example, we want to create apple, L for ellipse tool. Let's swap fill and stroke. Draw ellipse. Let's draw rectangle. Select them both. Shift plus M for shape builder. Hold Alt. Delete these parts. Now play with these proportions. Let's leave this result for now. Effect, 3D, Revolve, Preview, Right Edge. Let's pick diffuse shading, front, and rotate object like this. Let's click OK, and as you can see, we can play with this shape better than with this one. So it depends on situation. You should just keep in mind this way. Now let's try these both methods with texture and see how it will work for them. I will pick white color, draw rectangle, let's pick this color. Let's create rectangles like this and duplicate them. Now I will change proportions of white rectangle like so and delete this part. Let's select all these objects. You can do the same with any photo, any texture, any pattern. Just select needed object, window, symbols. Let's select these symbols and delete them. And create new symbol. When I know that I will experiment with textures, I rename them to 1, 2, 3 and so on. I don't waste time to create name for each one of them. This moment is absolutely up to you. I will rename this to 1. You can close this panel and you can delete this pattern. Now let's try to apply texture to this object. Click here on Preview, Map Art, and in this panel you see surfaces. In this object we have 5 sides. This is a lot. Ideally you should have 2 or 3 for such simple object as this one. So let's see what we can get here. Let's pick this surface. How you can see if you picked right surface, just try to apply texture, and if you picked wrong surface, click on Clear. You can also click on Clear All anytime. You will delete all patterns from all surfaces. Now let's click here on Scale to Fit, and let's find this side. scale to fit, and let's click OK. You can see that we have some problems here. Let's try to rotate this object a bit. And if it didn't work, you can try to play with handles just like this. So I see that we definitely have some problems here. Let's try this one. Map art. And here we have two surfaces. This is just great. This is ideal option. Let's apply texture to this one. You can move texture like this. Let's click here on scale to fit. And you can move it like so. You can increase its size and play with it. But I will click on scale to fit because we need these parts to match ideally. Let's pick this part. Apply this texture, scale to fit. Click OK. And now you can see that we have some great results. If you will zoom in, you might see some artifacts or unpleasant moments. First of all, what you should do is with this object selected, click here on Applied Effect, Map Art, and click here on Invisible Geometry. You can see that most of these lines are gone. For example, you can see these little lines here. Now I will click Invisible Geometry, and they are gone. Let's click OK for now. Also, what you should remember, that sometimes when you will save your artwork, all artifacts that you see will gone. And if some parts left, like this, you can easily remove them in Photoshop. I will show you how to do this just a little bit later. Also, what I wanted to show you. You might want to change proportions, like so, and you can see that your texture gets broken. Just don't be afraid. Change shape, like this for example. Then click here on Applied Effect again, Preview, Map Art, Clear All, and apply textures again. Scale to fit here, and scale to fit here. After this, you might need to play with perspective or with angle. I will leave this result. So let's delete this one. As you can see, you don't have shadows here. And to add them, let's click on Map Art and click here, Shade Artwork. Click OK. And now you can play with this lightning source again. Let's increase blending steps. I think I will leave this one. Create one more lightning source and place it here. Let's click OK. Now let's play with blending modes to add contrast to this object. Let's press Ctrl+C, Ctrl+F, and for copied object, let's click on Properties, Map Art, uncheck Invisible Geometry, and select Clear All. Let's click OK. Now let's click here on Color, Grayscale, and let's apply color like this. You will be able to play with it later. Properties, Opacity, and let's change blending mode to Color Burn. Let's play with opacity. If your computer will run slow, with this selected object, you can click on Object, Expand Appearance. Now this is not 3D shape, this is just an object. So you can duplicate this one and apply overlay, for example. You see that you're adding more contrast. You can try other blending modes. Also, if you will create some scene where will be a lot of 3D objects, and if your computer will run slow, just expand 3D objects that you have already created. If you will have some results like this, you can fix them in Photoshop easily also. I will show you how to do this. Now let's select these objects, and press Ctrl G to group. Let's create another elements. P for pen tool, swatches. Let's pick this color. Swap fill and stroke. Let's just draw a line. Like this. Increase stroke weight. Select round cap. I will lock this layer. Now Shift plus W for width tool. And let's change width here, like so. Now we want to hide this part. I will show you how to do this very fast and easy. I will show you easy tip on how to use opacity mask, and to learn advanced methods, you should watch such tutorials as 3 types of masking, where I show you how to switch between clipping mask, opacity mask and draw inside mode to create complicated illustration easy, and tutorial 9 ways to add texture, where you will learn a lot about opacity mask and will see how it can change your workflow and overall understanding of Adobe Illustrator. So now just follow step by step this easy and effective method. With this object selected, Window, Transparency, Make Mask, Clip, click here to enter mask mode, Color, let's select Stroke, Grayscale, select black color, B for brush, let's simply draw a line like this. As you can see, in opacity mask, you have the same layers as in normal mode. Let's just simply change this line to get needed result. I think I will stop on something like this. Now click on this icon to return to normal mode. Let's create another part, change width here, and let's draw some leaf. Let's group these objects and create shadow. Let's press L for ellipse tool, draw ellipse, let's bring it down, properties, opacity, multiply. You can play with proportions of shadow, like so. Let's pick this object, duplicate it here. Let's select these two, Shift plus M for Shape Builder, and drag Shape Builder like so. You can change proportions, like this. And now it's time to bring our artwork to Photoshop and make it look clean and professional. To save it, I'll press Ctrl plus Shift plus Alt plus S. If your artboard is too big, cancel, Shift plus O, now let's save it, original, and I will enter 8000 here, and just click on this window to apply needed result. It will take some time, just click on Save after that. So I opened this illustration in Photoshop, and let's fix all these moments. Quick and easy. First of all, let's duplicate this layer, press Ctrl plus J. Then you can try different combinations. I will show you them. First of all, let's click on Filter, Blur, Surface Blur. You can zoom out here and pick needed parts to view them. Surface Blur works very well with such parts as this shadow. You can play with these options, but you should have result where all these transitions will be blurred. So let's click OK and wait until surface blur will be applied. Alright, and you can see that you have some color transitions here. We don't want them. Let's try to get rid of them by changing blending mode to luminosity. As you can see, if I will switch to normal, you can see these color transitions, but if we will switch to luminosity right now, they are gone. So let's pick luminosity. As you can see, we have some great results in few clicks. And now we don't want surface blur to be applied to all image. Sometimes you might want this, but sometimes not. If you don't want it to be applied to all image, click here to add mask. Then fill this mask with black color. Then B for brush and draw with white color in needed areas, like this. very soft transitions. Also what you can use to get rid of such parts and to smooth such parts even more. Let's duplicate this layer, Ctrl J. Let's delete this mask, filter, noise, and you can use medium or dust and scratches. You can use even combinations of all of them, of surface blur, medium, and dust and scratches. Let's pick medium for now. Let's zoom out and take a look at this area. As I can see, it works here very well. You can play with radius. Now let's switch here. And it removes unneeded parts. Very easy. We will remove this part with other tool. Click OK. Now you can add mask again. Fill it with black color. B for brush. And draw with white color in needed areas. Just take your time, don't hurry, and make everything correctly. You can also get rid of these transitions. Don't forget that you can play with opacity of your brush and do it like so with all other parts that you don't like. Let's increase opacity, for example, and draw with brush here. After you will be happy with all transitions, you can duplicate this first layer, select them all, Ctrl G to group, leave this group as backup, just in case, duplicate it, make this one invisible, and flatten this group, Ctrl plus E. What options do you have to get rid of this part? You can pick Healing Brush tool, hold Alt somewhere, and try to work with it. If it didn't work for you, Ctrl Z to undo, pick Spot Healing Brush tool, and try to drag it like so. Shortcut is J. If it didn't work also, try Patch tool, drag it like so, and then try something like this. You might get such result as this, and this is OK. Now, as we need to work only in this part, let's press M, select this part, and press Ctrl J. With this part selected, filter, noise, let's try medium, dust and scratches, and then let's try surface blur or Gaussian blur. Let's try medium here. You can make something like this, and I think I will leave this result. Let's click OK, apply mask, fill it with black color, B for brush, and let's draw with white color here. Don't forget to change opacity of your brush to 100%. Now we have some great results here, and don't be too precise, because if you will zoom out to 100%, you won't see any errors because they will be too far away. So just remember about 100% view. Press Ctrl plus 1. As you can see, I have some little blurring here, and to avoid it, you need to be precise with masking. Just draw carefully in places that you want to blur and avoid places that you don't want to blur. Or play with settings of surface blur first. In conclusion, I would say that you just need to take your time and create different interesting textures or patterns. You can even add photo textures to 3D shapes, so don't hesitate to experiment. Also remember that you can always edit your artwork in Photoshop. So if you have some moments that you want to edit, just save your artwork, bring it to Photoshop, and use tips that I showed you today. If you learned something new from this tutorial, drop a comment below. Let me know if everything was clear enough for you and what you liked about this video. If you enjoyed this tutorial, support this channel by clicking on subscribe, and what's most important, by clicking on the bell icon to get notifications about newest tutorials from TNT. I would also appreciate if you will click thumbs up and will share this video. This was TNT Tutorials. See you in next videos!